Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing some walkthrough solves in collaboration with one of my friends, DolphinCubing. There will be a link to his channel down in the description so you can go check him out. These walkthrough solves are going to be a little different. If you remember the collaboration video I did with Brody the Cuber back in January, we had some cards after each one of our solves so you could vote in a poll as to whose solve was better, and we'll be borrowing that idea for this video as well. So let's just get into the video. We'll show the solves first, and then we'll show the scramble, and then you can watch the walkthrough. So for this solve here, this wasn't a very good cross at all, so I just went with doing an L to put this orange piece up first, and then I did a U to move the blue over, so while I insert the blue, that puts the red in place to be brought down, and then I just did a D2 F prime to solve this one, and then align the cross. And then here, I wasn't tracking anything, as this wasn't a very nice cross at all. So the first thing I saw was blue and red, so I did a U2, brought the edge down, paired them up, and inserted them into the back there. And while I was doing that, I was tracking this pair, and I knew that the edge wasn't going to go anywhere, so I was just watching this corner, basically. So I matched those up into the back, and then inserted them. And then I rotated here, and then moved this corner over, brought the edge out, set it up for a 3-move insert, and inserted the pair into the back. And then here I did basically the same thing for this pair. I rotated, brought the edge out, and then here I saw I was going to skip OLL, which was really lucky, and then I saw this block here, and nothing else, so I knew I had a G-perm, and I do a dumb PLL algorithm for this. I just do it with my left hand, but it works for me, so that's what I do. I wouldn't recommend it though.
Hey guys, DolphinCubing here. Here's the first scramble. Alright, so the first thing I saw in this scramble, I do white cross, so immediately I was looking for white cross. The first thing I saw is that these two, the orange and green. So I know that I can solve this with an FL, F2, but I also saw these two here, and I really didn't find a good way to put all the cross pieces in inspection time. So what I ended up doing was doing the FL, F2, then rotating, doing a U, and then doing an L, F, R, L prime, and then finishing cross with a D. I know that's not very efficient, but that is the way I did it. So when I was doing that, I saw this pair, and when I was putting this down, I saw that this would be preserved. So immediately I do this pair by doing a U prime, then inserting it like normal into this back slot back here. And then while I was doing that, I saw this pair being formed, and so I rotated, did a U, and solved it like this. And while I'm doing this, I see these two are getting matched up, so I see this, but it took me a long time to actually do it. There's quite a big pause, and then I just inserted it like normal. And the last pair I rotated, I saw these. And now I know a better way of doing this pair, but I did it very not well. So I paired them up like this, and then I tried to insert them with F moves, but since I don't know the dot OLLs, I ended up doing a U2 F prime, and then I inserted it with a sledgehammer to get a better OLO that's not a dot. So I saw this OLO, this is a fairly simple OLO, and then I saw this, and it was an A perm. Nice.
So for solve number 2, I saw that the green piece was already on the bottom, so that was already solved. And I could bring the orange down easily. And I also have this blue and orange pair here already made that could be easily preserved. So I did an L, D, and then an R prime to insert the blue edge. And then I can do a U prime, insert this red edge into the back like this with wide moves, although I probably executed it more like that, but basically with wide moves. And then I did a D and then U2 and inserted this into the back. And the first thing I saw was this pair here. So I set it up for a 3-move insert and inserted it like that. And then I rotated, did this pair next, and then rotated again. And I solved this pair just like that. And then here, I don't know if I got a little confused. I could have just inserted like that, but instead I did a U2. I might have thought that I got a certain winner variation case, so I don't know what that was about, but I inserted like that, and ended up getting an easy COLL, so that was nice, and then a U-perm.
Alright, this was a fairly good scramble. I saw that this green pair was already in, and I saw that this pair had already been formed. So, and I also saw this orange and white was in line with the green right here. So with a simple L, I could pair this up and it'd be correct. So first what I did this and so that this would be in the back. So I could, instead of inserting it with an L, I would insert it with a B prime, I think. No, it's just a B, with a B, and then I saw this pair right here, or the red right here, and I knew I could insert it like this, but I didn't want to do that first because that would break up the pair right here. It'd break it up. So I ended up doing this move first, so I did the B, and then I inserted this with R prime FR. Then I did a D and inserted the blue with F2. Then I just did a B. And I was tracking this pair obviously since I was preserving it, so I brought it over. Then I rotated, and while I'm doing this I see these two, and I know that this corner is going to be oriented in a way that it will make this pair formed. So after I insert it into the back, I immediately U prime. Of course this is formed. Then I do this to bring it out, and then I insert it normally, and I'm looking at these two right here. So I miscalculated in this, so when I put this in, I did it U, and I was not supposed to do this. I just miscalculated, and so I ended up doing this, but I realized my mistake too late, and so I undid the moves and then inserted it normally with R, U prime, R prime, U, and then inserting it normally. Now without that mistake, this solve could have easily been a high 7, but I'm still happy with an 8. So then after that pair I rotated, and I did this pair like this. It's not really efficient, but this is the only way I know how. So I did R, U, R prime, U, and then I did a R, U, R prime, rotate, do a U2, insert with L moves. Then I got the same OLO as last time, and usually I saw when there is headlights on the top, it usually means an easier PLL. That's not always the case, but in this case it was. When I did this OLO, I did get a U-perm, and I did it like this. Ended up being an 8.
So for solve 3, the cross, again, isn't the nicest, but I did work with it. So I did a D, and then an R prime, B prime to solve this orange piece in the back, and then R prime to solve the green one, and set up the blue one, the red one, and in solving the red one, I set up the blue one. So that was pretty easy. And the first thing I saw was the red and blue pair. That's pretty easy, just triple sexy. And then I went into doing this pair here just like that. And in doing that, I saw that this would set up into a 3-move insert. So I kind of locked up here a little bit, but I did end up inserting it and then solving this last pair into the back. And then OLL and a V-perm.
Alright, so here's the third scramble. What I did first, I saw these, the green and red cross pieces, and I know I can solve them with an R2F. And so that's what I ended up doing, and I saw this orange one here, and I knew that with an R2F, this should be paired up like this. So I could do in D and then L. And so I ended up having two choices here. I could either insert this last cross piece with F D prime L, or I could solve it how I did in the solve. I could solve it with F prime D R prime. Now it's just a 50-50 chance on whichever one I chose, but I ended up choosing that one. And again, I wasn't really looking for F2L pairs while I was doing my cross, because I was just worry on how I was doing my cross. I didn't see the whole thing in inspection. And so I saw this pair immediately, which was really lucky, is just blaring right in your face right there. So I inserted it R prime U R, then I inserted it with F moves. And so the second pair, I thought that this might have been the pair for this corner, but I looked and it wasn't. It was actually green. So I went looking for the edge for this corner, and I ended up doing a U prime in the process, which I need to stop doing. So I saw it was right here, and so I did a U, put it back, and then I brought this edge out with a R U R prime. Then I inserted it in the back with L moves. And so while I was doing that, before these two right here were like this, but now they're like this. So I was watching that, and I knew I could solve it with an R prime U2 R, and then rotate, put it in. And then these were the last two. I ended up rotating back for some reason, and then I inserted it into the back like this. Then there was just an easy OLO, and then another A perm.
So again, like most of the other solves, this is a really nasty cross. I didn't pick the scrambles, so blame Jacob for that. But here I saw that I could do a U, and then when I brought the blue piece down, I could solve both of these like that. And then I inserted this green pair by doing, this green edge, not pair, by doing a B prime D L prime, and then I just aligned the cross. And I saw here that this made these two pairs, and so you just insert those, just like that. And as I was inserting this red and blue pair in the back, I saw that this edge was here in the slot, and the corner has white facing on the top, and I knew that since this is adjacent to the slot that it needs to go in, when I do a U2, it'll be made. So I can just insert it like that, and then I have my last pair, and then OLL, and I immediately saw a J perm, and that was a really bad execution.
Alright, here's the third scramble. So immediately I see these two right here for the cross pieces, and now I can insert this with an with an FL, but I also see this one right here, and I know that the green is in the back. what I did, I started with red on front, and I did so that this would be here. So instead of inserting it with FL, I'd be inserting it with R and then F. So what I did, I brought this over with a U so that these would be aligned, and then I did the R, and then I actually rotated first, and then I did R prime L. And what that did, it brought both these down at the same time. And then I inserted this last piece like this. So I did an F prime, then a D, and then an R prime. And while I was doing cross, I wasn't really focusing on F2L pairs, as I was just trying to do cross correctly without messing up. So after I finished cross, I was greeted with the very nice surprise of 2 free pairs right here. So after looking at these, I decided that I needed to do this one first, the green and red, because if I did the red and blue, obviously it would break up these. So if I did this, it would break them up, and we don't want that. So I did a U2 and inserted this in the back. Then for some reason I did a U2, which I don't really know why I did. Then I rotated, I did another U prime, and then I inserted it in the back. Very weird. And then I did a U, just to kind of do random moves, which is not a good idea. Please don't do this in your solves. Then I saw that with the U these would be paired, so I bring it to the back, inserted it. Then I saw these right here. And for some reason, after I paired this, I did a sledgehammer. And now I don't really know why I did a sledgehammer, but it's probably just reflexes, because I actually don't know. It just happened. So I did the sledgehammer, I got this OLO, very easy, and then there's just a J-perm.
So here with this cross, I saw that green was already in place, and blue was opposite of it, and red was right underneath blue, and orange could be inserted after inserting the blue and the red. And I was trying to find a way to preserve this block here and solve this edge, but I couldn't do that. Instead, I did find that I could make this pair the red and green pair. So I did an F prime, which wasn't to solve this edge, because as you can see, that's obviously not where it goes. But if I do a U and then solve the red piece, that makes this pair in the back, and then I can just finish the cross with F and D moves like that, and then I can go right into inserting this pair. Now the next thing I saw was this blue and orange pair. I just solved that, and then I rotated, and here's this trick that I kind of talked about earlier. So if the edge is in the adjacent slot to where it needs to go, and the corner is facing up, then when you bring it over, it'll form a pair. But if it's in the opposite slot, like this, then it won't form a pair. So I can just do a sledgehammer, which will set it up for a 3-move insert, and then insert it into the back, and that's what I did. And then I just take the edge out for this pair, and then sledgehammer to orient some edges, and then here did OLL, and I had another V-perm.
Alright, so last solve. Immediately what I saw here is that the green cross piece is already in, and I see that this with a F2 will be aligned with the green. So I saw also that this red and white was right there, and so with an F, R prime F, it will be solved. But I also noticed that this orange one was here, so I ended up just doing it normally. So I did F prime, R prime, F prime, then I did a D, and then I did an F. So that did cross, to finish it with a D. Then I ended up rotating, doing a U move, all random moves, which I am trying to avoid now because they're really not very efficient. So I did, and then I paired up these two in the back, the green and red, and so I inserted it like this, and then I brought them over and inserted them. Next I rotated, and then I saw these right here, so I paired them up and put them in. Then I rotated back to this green side and I did a U prime. I saw these here, so I paired them up like this and then put them in the back. And I didn't know which color this would be, but it ended up being good, so it ended up being green. And so I could insert this without rotating, so by doing a U and then doing an R, U2, R prime, U, R, U prime, R prime. Then I saw this, and it's an anti-soon, and then there's a G perm.
So I'd like to thank DolphinCubing for doing this collaboration with me. He did make the thumbnail for this video, so good job on that. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there will be a link to his channel in the description, so go and subscribe. And that's about it for this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.